And last but not least, Indiana Bones, with the spooky origins of a traveling storyteller and a ghost walker.
Thank you. Thank you all very much for staying, and you heard right, I'm Indiana Bones, Storyteller. I want to thank all of you who stayed on, both alive and the living challenged, who are still here right now. And this story is a true story, mostly. It's a ghost story. And this story takes place a long time ago and far away. I lived in a city that was known by many names. Crabtown, Clipper City, and even Mobtown. But when I lived there, it was known as the murder capital of the nation. More than 400 murders in 1 year. The city, Baltimore, Maryland. Now, Baltimore was also known by another name, Charm City. But Baltimore was not always that charming to me. For in one day, I was nearly carjacked twice. Once at a gas station, the other at a stop sign. At a stop sign, when that happens, you know that the peanut butter has really hit the fan. So, the spirits haunted this city by the bay, and I skipped the page here. There we go. But as I headed home that night, the clouds rolled in, and it started to rain. I guess you could say that it was a dark and stormy night. Lightning crackled through the sky like static electricity through a cashmere sweater, like bacon popping on a hot grill, like Hannibal Lecter's skillet after a busy day. I opened my front door, and it squeaked like my knees did in the morning. I was living in a house that was older than I was, and I'm as old as dirt. This place was built at the turn of the last century, and was full of groans and moans. The basement had a dirt floor with low-hanging wooden beams and the smell of rancid oil. There were rats, both dead and alive, and because Baltimore was only about 40 miles from Washington, D.C., I'm sure that there were some decomposing bodies of politicians buried somewhere on the grounds. Well, that night, I went to sleep with the sound of rain, and I looked out the window, and the rain was dancing sideways against the glass, and I said, "Isn't that pretty?" And with that, I fell asleep. Then, suddenly, I woke up with a jerk, myself, and I could swear that there was someone in the room with me or something. I turned and looked at the window, and there, sitting on the windowsill, was my grandfather, smoking his ever-handy pipe. And my grandfather had been dead for 30 years. So I turned to him and said, "Hey, Gramps, you know, smoking that thing's gonna kill you." Oops, maybe I was too late. Or maybe too early, I don't know. But then, like Marley's ghost, with a rattling of chains, my grandfather said, "Ooh, ah, pay attention to your dreams, ooh, ah." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Ooh, ah, don't burn my biscuits, grandson. Pay attention to your dreams. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah." I thought he was either going to break out into a Beatles song or that witch doctor song, ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ping, bang. Well, never mind. So, I fell asleep again, but then I woke up for real, and of course, he wasn't there. But then, second night, second dream. I had just finished a presentation in a college lecture hall. I don't know what I had said, but it was full of indigenous Native American chieftains. And in complete silence, one by one, they left the hall and nodded a silent approval to me. I didn't know what I had just done. Third night, third dream. I was walking along a desert path on the Arizona-Nevada border, just south of Boulder Dam, a path that I later found in real life. And there, sitting under a craggy rock, sat a craggy old medicine man. And he said to me one word, Shaughnessy. Well, I had no idea what Shaughnessy meant. Well, later that week, a friend of mine, knowing that I was Irish, loaned me the book, The Trinity. And in the first chapter, it said, the Shaughnessy, the storyteller, came to town. That weekend, I happened to be going through the want ads, and I saw wanted storytellers for haunted hayride. Call Philip at 555-555-5555. So I called, and following the spirit's advice and my dreams, I became a storyteller. And, oh, by the way, my grandfather's name was Philip. Thank you all very much. Have a great evening. Thank you for coming out tonight. I'll take my props and leave.
Good job, good job. Thank you all for coming out tonight. If you still would like to drop a piece of paper with your wishes to your loved ones in the fire, please do so. And do know the first Saturday of every month is a volunteer cleanup here at the cemetery. We harvest tumbleweeds and clean up and tidy and learn more about the cemetery. Thank you again for coming out. We so appreciate your involvement with cemetery stories, life, death, and beyond. Thank you to these companies and organizations that make the Before I Die New Mexico Festival possible. A good goodbye. Gail Rubin puts the fun in funeral planning. Compassion and choices, improving care, expanding options, and empowering everyone to chart their end-of-life journey. Daniel's Family Funerals and Cremations, Fairview Memorial Park, Gabaldon Mortuary, Sandia Memory Gardens, and Vista Verde Memorial Park, all in the Albuquerque area. Estate Pros, offering professional dispersal of personal possessions due to a move, illness, or death. The Final Exit Network, educating about and defending the right to choose at end of life. French Funerals and Cremations and Sunset Memorial Park in Albuquerque. Gathering Us, providing in-person and virtual memorial services and online memorial pages. Keeper, providing hybrid and virtual memorial services and keeping memories alive with online tributes to preserve, celebrate, and share life legacies. Morris Hall, estate planning attorneys in New Mexico and Arizona. Remembering a Life, your guide to honoring a life well lived, from planning a tribute to mourning a loved one. And Retirement Extender, investment management services with a personalized strategy recommendation based on your needs and objectives.